Hi everyone. Today is going to be a little different. We're going to end up our provisional patent application series. And we're going to do that by giving you an actual walkthrough, an actual tutorial on what a provisional patent specification looks like. I'm going to be going over with you what it should contain, your thought process behind it, and what the launch pad should be looking for you to go forward with a non-provisional patent application that you're going to file off of this with the proper drawings and, most importantly, the proper claims. This is nothing more than a line holder for you for 365 days. So just because you found out that a provisional patent application is going to cost you anywhere from $75 to quite possibly $150 to file, that's not why you're doing this. You're doing this because the provisional patent application, or the specification that I'm going to be sharing with you, is the launching pad, hopefully, for your future, where you're going to develop an idea further, you're going to turn it into a product, you're going to start to be able to sell it and make money off of it and protect you in one fashion. You're going to have a patent. As I'm going to explain with you in further and much greater detail down the road, you just don't want to depend on a patent to protect you. It's just one layer of protection. There are other layers that are equally as important, and they are trademarks, trade secrets, inventors' notebooks, and a whole lot more. And that's what we're going to get into down the road. But today, since we're finishing up on provisional patents, I thought I would walk you through what my specification looked like. Now, just a little bit of trivia. Prior to 2013, March thereof, it was unheard of that any inventor worth his salt would ever share his or her ideas with anybody until they had received a formal grant. And that's why I put up that video about submarine patents and paper patents and Jerome Lemelson, since he was the master of it. And he is somebody that you should still know about and think about during this process, because secrecy is key. Now, the reason why I'm going to share with you my application is, under the Invents Act, my non-provisional application, which was supposed to be held in confidence for 18 months by the US PTO, was actually published 6 months after my application was in the office. So they published it a year ahead of time. Secrecy has pretty much been thrown out the window by the USPTO. So we're in a new world of information and sharing. And since my provisional patent and my non-provisional patent were researched, I vetted it very strongly myself. My claims are rather thoughtful. There's 16 of them. I did a professional patent search, and the thing is public anyway. I might as well share with you how this process works. So, as I said, here's a copy of my non-provisional. I filed it on September 25th, 2019, and they published it on April 15th, 2020. That non-provisional application is darn near a mirror image of my provisional. Doesn't necessarily work that way, but in my case it was, so therefore my provisional is a good teaching tool for you. The difference between my non-provisional and my provisional is twofold. I have professionally done drawings, and I have 16 claims. I didn't submit professional drawings on my provisional, and I didn't include claims because I wanted to work on them, and I wasn't going to submit my claims to the US PTO until it was time. I don't trust them that much. Nonetheless, let's go over to my computer now, and I'll give you a walkthrough and a breakdown of what a proper provisional patent application looks like, at least from my vantage point. I'll see you over there. So we're back on the screen sharing, and this is my Adobe Acrobat DC program where I have everything uploaded. So I just wanted to give you a quick run through what my file looked like. So this is the cover sheet. We went over that in the prior videos, and you can refer back to them for any help that you might need. That was the date that I filed this on. Then at the time, I made under the maximum, so I was able to use a micro entity status, and my filing fee at the time was $70. So I incorporated that in the same file, and here's my specification. And I believe it's about 18 pages long. But let's just start at the beginning. You should have your name, your full address, and all that up on the corner, wherever you want to put it. The name of your invention. The field of invention relates to any and all types of flags and banners, because I came up with a tangle-free flag. And then a simple statement about flags. They come in all shapes and sizes, have been around for centuries. Now, I decided to put my description of drawings right up front. And you can put it anywhere you want, but I just decided to put it up front. And I describe certain aspects of the drawings, and I relate it to each particular figure. Then, as within all patents, provisional and non-provisional, you want to address the problem. What is the problem with flags and banners, ordinary flags and banners? Well, when they're flown outdoors, they get tangled. So that's the problem, and that's the problem that I addressed and that I attacked. And what I mean attacked is that is the problem I decided to overcome with my improvement. So I get into that. And then basically the rest of this specification is how I'm going to deal with it. I go into a treatise on why they furl, why they get tangled. And then I propose a solution, and that's part of what your patent does. You have to not only identify the problem, but you have to identify the solution. Now, since I'm dealing with flags and tangled flags, in my observation, I go through the various mechanisms that I see out there that have flags flying, but they're tangled nonetheless, even though they're not supposed to tangle. So I address that. 2 methods, 3 methods. Third method is not as common. They add stiffeners, but that's in the prior art. And then I do reference the prior art right here. Here was what I felt was a benchmark patent in the prior art, the one that I wanted to challenge and overcome. So now I'm going to state my objective. And what is the objective? It's a goal of this invention to design a tangle-free flag that will perform in virtually all outside weather conditions. Flag has to look natural and has to fly naturally, and it can't fall back on itself and will resist furling in both low-level and high-level wind conditions. So that's my objective. Now I state what that is, and then I come up with the solution. And I say that the majority of flags presently being flown incorporate external tangle-free flagpole fixtures. In my observation, they don't work. So I would go into that. And then I show you what they look like in the figures. So let's just go and look at what I did. This is a description of my drawing. It's incorporated in this provisional patent application, but I separated it out. So when you do brief descriptions of drawings, you want to have the main figure and then the subheading. The first main figure is the image of the American flag. And now I'm going to break that down into its constituent parts, like the corner part with the stripes. That's called the canton. So you want to break it down. And then I go into figure 2, where I show and draw the various pictures of what my weighted tube segments can look like. So let's run through my drawings. Look how rough they are. That's fine. This is the field. This is the canton. This is the fly hem. And they're all labeled. And that's figure 1. Figure 2 shows the drawings of the various weighted tubes, how I would do it, or how I would propose to do it. Now, I'm proposing to do it all these different ways because these various segmented tubes are going to be delineated in my future claims. See, I'm anticipating my claims. So these drawings anticipate what my future claims for my non-provisional are going to show. That's important for you to understand that. So let's get back. And now I talk about the type of material I'm going to use, how much it comes out to. Comes out to 3/4 of a cent a flag for a 3x5. Going to use approximately 5.5 ounces. And that's to be fine-tuned once I get into the manufacturing stage. But that's a good ballpark. That doesn't have to be exact. Now, here I'm referring to the drawings. So you have to have your drawings and you have to have your description of your drawings, because during this writing of your specification and going through your summary, or your body of the specification, I should say, your description, you have to refer to your drawings. Your drawings can be crude, and I would not submit a professional set of drawings. It's not necessary if you can just get by with what I did, because when you're ready to file your non-provisional, you'll fine-tune your drawings, and that's when you'll submit a real set of drawings. Now, why was I confident that I could possibly get a patent with this? The real reason is I approached the problem, I came up with a solution, and then I tested it. Remember I told you how important prototypes are? So these are detailed tests that I did. And this entire specification is basically in my final patent application because I was just that thorough on this provisional application. So I have my conclusion. Future manufacturing options, you don't have to talk about that, but you should. I did, and I have before in prior patents. Here's my description of drawings. Here's my drawings embodied in the specification. Don't ask me why it went in that way, but this is how it should have been. So I have them all labeled. The halyard is the part where the grommets are. The fly end is the end. That's the one that you see torn all the time. This is where the weighted ballast in my particular improvement would be. Other patents that I searched and I did the prior art on with a professional patent search, they had all stiffeners throughout the entire flag, whether it was on the fly ham, the halyard, or the field. I'm not doing that. My flag flies naturally, and at rest, it droops naturally. And this is the only part that I really focused on with the improvement. Although I did cover other aspects, but this is my main aspect. I already went over that. I showed you the broken down. So I also went on the internet and I took a screenshot just because it's more professionally drawn. Here's the anti-tangle apparatus that I'm competing against. I can use it in conjunction with my improvement, or I don't need this at all. But I wanted to have it documented. And then I took some photographs of the flag. I even named the manufacturer. It's an Annan polyester nylon all-weather flag 3x5. Here's my new and improved fly hem. You can see how it's just flapping in the breeze. And my patent says that it's not going to furl on this bar. It won't fly back. It's a picture of my front of my house. See how it droops naturally? You couldn't tell. Photographic evidence is great. There it is flying a little bit. Here's my ballast tubes and a scale. This is very rough, but it documents the principle. There's the beach sand. There it is drooping again. It's flying under a pretty good wind. It's flying very naturally. Shows you how a weighted fly hem keeps it from coming back over the bar and furling. The tubes, there's the undone fly hem. That's the ballast sewn into the fly hem. So there you have that all together, and that gives you a good idea. Now you can read through my specification if you'd like to, if you think it's going to help. And I went through it slowly enough here so you could do it. I'm not going to upload a Google Docs, but here you can read it as well. So if you go to my website, World Class Inventors, and you go to my patent CV page, right here is a link to my granted patents and my patent that's pending. So you would just click on that, and you would come down here to tangle-free flag, and you can see how it's done. The abstract, the images. What's kind of neat about this, once the US PTO decides to issue your application, you can now go and look at the prior art. They automatically do that for you. I'm looking for it. So you can go through and read my entire specification here. Here I'm just showing you the pictures. The figure drawings. You can do them yourself. Depends on how complicated your patent is. But I chose to hire somebody because I couldn't even pull this off. This maybe, but not nearly to the same. It doesn't have the same professional look. So that's why I paid for it. And I paid $60 a sheet. So that was worth it. So you click out of that, and let's see. That's an external link. You don't want that. Well, you could. This is my patent attorney friend of mine that helped me out with getting it in the proper order and helping me with my claims. But I did most of the heavy lifting here, and I just allowed them to file it for me. Although I told you you could file it yourself, and we'll go over that when it's time to go over a non-provisional patent application. I was looking for the prior art. Here it is. See how the PTO lists this for you? It already lists the prior art for you. So this is pretty much what I'm going to go up against. Non-entangling device, staff-mounted banner, fishing lure device. Give me a break. Kite, flag furl prevention. So my most germane competition would be something like this. Non-furling flag. Non-furling flag. So let's go and look at that. And that's a French application. Now, I know they draw from the worldwide stage, but it's more germane that I was on the US platform, and that might bode better for me. But from what I pulled in the United States patent search, there was nothing even remotely close to mine. So I'm in pretty good shape. Now, as I said, the patent office has had my application. It'll be 2 years at the end of September. I don't have an examiner, and I'm not telling you that this patent is issued. It's pending. And between you and I, and we'll get into it, pending doesn't mean squat. You're really not protected. You'll be protected after you get an official grant with a part thereof of your claims, if you get all of your claims. But you can see U.S. Provisional was filed on 9/25, and look at that, a year later, just before midnight, I filed a non-provisional. So anyway, I hope this gives you a little leg up. I'm showing you what I did. I'm pretty confident I'm going to get my patent awarded to me. You can come and look at my claims. You can see what I'm claiming. The description, the background, it's all there for you. And I just felt safe enough at this point in time that I could share everything with you under the system that we're in. There is no trade secrets as far as this application is concerned. It's pretty straightforward, and we're all going to find out if I'm going to get this patent granted to me. Once I get it granted, that's when I sit back, take a deep breath, and draw up my marketing plan on who I'm going to call and why I'm going to call them and how I'm going to try to strike a licensing deal. So I hope this was helpful. I'll see you around. God bless you. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for your time and your interest. Bye-bye.